All right, guys, we are at SommCon 2025 with Master of Wine, LINDSAY Pomeroy. How you doing, LINDSAY?
Great. Feeling good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us. So, LINDSAY Pomeroy, Master of Wine, the only one in San Diego, one of 58 in the country, if I'm not mistaken.
Is that right? Okay.
Is that correct? I Googled it last night.
I feel like that's right. ChatGPT.
There's been a couple of people who have added on, since you passed. Became an MW in 2018. I thought something that was really interesting is that you had created your own school of wine before you became an MW back in 2006.
I know. It's a long time.
Wine Smarties.
Yeah.
What inspired you to do that? Get back into the frame that you were in 2006. What gave you that inspiration, that spark to want to do a wine school in San Diego, the first wine school ever in San Diego?
I feel it was a little bit of a LINDSAY approach to life jump, and I hope the net follows. So
it's worked out for you.
The idea was born without too much planning and thinking of, hey, people, I was working at Wine Steals, which is no longer around, but I was the manager there, and people came in and asked me as the manager working the floor, hey, what do you think I should drink? And I honestly didn't really know anything. So in 2005, I got my first certification as a CSW and felt like I knew something. That's funny. I mean, it's, something, but through the journey, you realize, you don't really know something, but I still felt like I didn't know how to taste. But anyway, from there and all the customers that came in, I thought, hey, who's doing this? Nobody's teaching anyone about wine. There's clearly a demand because Wine Steals at that time was packed. We'd have people 4 or 5 deep at the bar waiting to get service. So conceptually, the wine bar movement had begun, if you will, back in the day, and people were thirsty and didn't know, and there weren't any schools, resources, or guides at that time. And if there were, I don't think many people knew about it. So that's why I started Wine Smarties.
So I have a follow-up question on that, because from 2006 to when you first founded the school, leading up to where we are now, 2025, so much has changed in the way that people receive education. Like, how have you seen the shift in your approach to education and how you give it to the students?
Yeah.
Has there been a noticeable shift?
I think so. I think that the way, the internet wasn't really a tool. It was, you had I had my website in 2006, and that was like, wow, she's got a website feeling. And Facebook hadn't come on until 2 years later. So this is literally pre-Facebook.
Yeah.
And I remember going to a seminar on Twitter when that was first being launched as Twitter before its current form. And so the internet wasn't where it's at. So it was still old school books. You come to class, I spent hours preparing handouts and organizing information that way. PowerPoints came later, but I think the approach to education was still pretty old school, where the learner now is very thirsty. They're on podcasts, they're online, they're researching, study, download flashcards and tools. So I've had to add in some online study support tools and resources. And I have what's now I call the community, where it's essentially like a Facebook closed group where I post homeworks and communicate with the course. And that definitely didn't exist, or I didn't have that option.
Right.
And that's been really fun for me. Instead of sending emails with attachments, I can post something. Hey guys, here's what's coming. Here's your homework for the next course. I have found that my older learners still struggle with it, but the younger demographics, I think it's a good move. So I think the way people are getting information has caused a shift in what tools I use to present and help them learn the information.
Yeah. I love that. So you're presenting on a seminar here.
Yeah.
Blind Taste Like a Master of Wine.
Yes.
I think it already happened, right?
It did.
How'd it go?
It went great. I had a full group. It was exciting.
So what do you think are the things, maybe 1 or 2 things or 3 things that people struggle with the most when blind tasting wines?
I think they're taught the tasting grid, right? The deductive tasting grid. And I feel that's great and it's super important to know. But I don't think there's a lot of clarity over there of how to really use it. And so the approach was basically I had everyone on one side of a chart, a 2-column chart, very simple conceptually. On the left side, I had people write down each of the steps of the deductive tasting grid. So what is your appearance call? What aromatics? What are your aromatic groups? What on your palate, what's your acid, tannin, and kind of separate. And then on the right column, we talked about how can you use this information to make conclusions? And I think just simply presenting the grid in a way like that helps people better understand. I'm not just, because the tasting grid's like listing and describing.
Right.
It's not really set up for analysis. And so you can just tweak it a little bit and use it in a different way. And I feel like that's a very important thing for someone to kind of understand, because I don't feel it's well presented. Like, how do you really use the grid when you're blind tasting?
Right.
Like when I went from diploma to Master of Wine, that was a big learning curve for me because the WCD diploma was still pretty grid based. And I had to learn, okay, when I say pronounced aromatics, how do I use that information? If they're bright and fresh, how can I use that information? So I think that's very, very simple, nuanced, and totally doable, and something that people should start now to train their brains to really connect the information as they go.
I love that. Awesome. Well, speaking of, we have a blind wine for you.
All right, let's see how I do.
Let's do it. Okay, I think you're going to crush it.
Let's do it. Let's crush it. Give me New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc.
In the spirit of absolute fairness here and transparency, we're going to let you choose between 1 and 12.
9.
Cassandra, would you please bring us wine number 9?
The lovely Cassandra.
Yes.
This feels kind of fancy.
Listen, this is what we do. Lindsay, okay? This is on purpose.
It is. This is a nice room, I gotta say.
Oh my goodness. Okay, while she's bringing the wine, you are getting back into the service aspect of the business.
I know, it's been
You're
quite
getting back. You're going to be on the floor.
I'm going to be on the floor.
This is amazing because there are there's very limited opportunities, I feel like, in San Diego to go visit a great restaurant where there's an amazing sommelier. And listen, I know there's a bunch of amazing sommeliers out there, but I'm just saying, compared to other cities, right, where there's, and the fact that that sommelier position is always bunched into other things, like you're the sommager, you're the general manager. It's very difficult to go actually see someone like you would a bartender, for example. You can go sit in front of a bartender and talk to them about cocktails and stuff while they're not busy. But we have that opportunity now to go visit a Master of Wine on the floor. So that's super exciting.
I'm excited. It'll be fun. I like people.
Go for it.
All right, let's see. Ooh, it's a red.
So Lindsay, this is going to be a time tasting just so that we can move relatively quickly.
Love the pressure. This is so exciting.
And also it's going to kind of force you. Don't touch the glass yet. Don't look at anything. Sorry.
Look away. Look away.
No. You can look at it. You can look at it.
Are you sure?
Yes, you can look at it, but don't touch the glass. So the goal here is, you can hop in there. That's perfect. Thank you. So Lindsay.
Wait, how much time we got?
So I'm going to give you 90 seconds for the wine.
90 seconds.
And what it's going to force you to is just to go quickly. But the whole thing, the whole thing of this is the process of the wine. Okay. Just to hear the descriptors, hear you walk through it more so than absolutely getting the wine right. Is just seeing what are the major things that stand out from this wine to you. Cool. When you touch the glass, and you can cheat the system. I've had people do it before where they start talking about things from the visual. I'm not trying to give too much away here. When you touch the glass, you have 90 seconds.
Okay. This is exciting.
Good luck.
Go. All right. So we've got here.
Time started.
A pretty not deep wine, and it's ruby in its core. So that's helpful. My mind immediately goes to, all right, are we in Burgundy? Are we Pinot? Could we be in Italians? Could we be Grenache based? Just immediately, for me, is what I'm looking at. If it's classic, I don't really know. I'm hoping. So aromatically.
Me too.
Yeah, kind of fresh, tart, skewed fruit character, which is quite lovely. Like cherries, a lot of cherry, right? And there's some earth character, which is nice. Floral, violets. So tart, ripe, not super ripe. So I would go climate-wise, moderate, but you got to taste it. So let's get there.
You're 60 seconds in.
All right. Yeah. Nice, elegant mouthfeel. This is not normally my process, but this is fun. Nice, elegant mouthfeel.
No, yeah, whatever's natural to you.
Yeah. Bright acidity, not super high, but definitely not low. So I go medium plus acidity, which says, okay, I feel like we are in a moderate climate. I think from a quality standpoint, I think it's good quality. I would say overall, we're probably in the world of a moderate climate Pinot. I'm thinking maybe Willamette Valley. The tannins aren't very high. I don't get the Italian vibe at all. I'm not getting like licorice or balsamic. I'm getting more the earth red fruit core flavors. So I would go maybe a domestic Pinot, but not from California because of the climate, or possibly like a entry-level Burgundy. The other reason why is the oak isn't very high.
Yeah.
We could be a Beaujolais crew.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so final, you gave us some initials. What's your final answer?
Yeah, I would say Willamette Pinot.
All right.
Why not?
What year? What age range?
Oh, pretty youthful.
Okay.
We're I would say 3, 5.
Cassandra, would you please
2020,
reveal the wine?
2021. Somewhere around there.
Are you ready? All right.
Okay. Oh, it's close.
You were close. I mean,
I
you
was
called
in
Pinot.
Pinot.
You called Pinot? That's a
Burgundy,
great call.
Oregon
Yeah.
was right there.
That is one of my. That is a delicious one. That's Jeffrey Chambertin Old Vine Domaine
Love
René
it.
Leclerc 2021. That is delicious out
Love
of a
it.
glass.
Old Vine, really? Okay, what year
Yeah.
are we here? 21.
Yeah. Old vines from him were 40 and over 45 years
And what
old.
do we got for Elkie?
What's it say on there?
I can't read it.
Okay, well, it's
I'm
okay.
over
What do you
40.
think? Do you like it?
I liked it. Yeah, Burgundy was there. This is fun. This is where it's like,
You hit Pinot,
You learn.
you hit all the characteristics. I mean, you're there.
you're there.
Yeah.
And you know what? You lay your hat because time's up and you just got to move on and go, yep, that's that.
Lindsay Pomeroy, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. I can't wait to see you in the restaurants
All
again.
right, we'll see you.
Cheers.